This is a celebration. The reason why we began late is because we are in an El Nino season. Somebody said to me yesterday that El Nino came, but it didn't come with rain. We experienced a few showers yesterday, and this time I think the El Nino is very friendly. Good morning, everybody. This is a wonderful day. Very, very wonderful, and it's a day that we all long for. I want to read my speech, then after that I'll sit down. The theme of this graduation today is capacity development through technical education. We as Alphax College strive to nurture and to produce skillful citizens of the Republic of Kenya who can impart our country by making a difference in the entrepreneurial domain. The college produces graduates who are fully furnished with practical and idealistic skills. When I stood here last year, we as this institution had a vision. And like every other college, we had a vision to become a university. We applied, we went through our first inspection. We had a lot of correspondences with the Commission of University Education. But along the line, we began to develop other ideas. Many of my friends have asked me, when is Alphax becoming a university? And it appears like it's the in thing. When you begin a college, you grow and become a university. With deep reflection, thinking, looking at what's happening in the country, you begin to realize that university education is not the solution for development for this country. And I'm saying that with all due respect that we have the DVC St. Paul's University here. Nearly all tertiary institutions, including government institutions, have been turned to university. Either you're a campus of a university, or you're a constituent university, or you're a university. The rush for degree certificates has become a craze in our country. Every person wants to become a graduate. You write applications, several applications, and if you get a reply for one, you're very lucky. Because there are thousands and thousands of university students, university graduates who are looking for employment. There is a fatigue that is catching up with most employers, and the fatigue is the fact that not all, but most of the university students have graduated and they have papers, but they lack skill. I too went to university, but I'll say this to us, that university will bring knowledge to you. They'll help you to do research. They'll open up your thinking. But I want to believe that the development of technical skill in a human being should actually be left to tertiary institutions. Because we have the time to develop that person. And so the party ends when you get at home and you realize you have no job. I have met friends of mine who were graduates, and they're either operating a matatu, they're either selling tomatoes, they either have gone to the village and they're running a butcher. Recently, I talked to a girl. She's actually from St. Paul's University. And I say to her, you cannot graduate and go and start keeping rabbits at home. She's an IT student, and she said, sir, I have tarmacked and I don't seem to get any job. And so she's gone back to the village, and all she's doing is she's rearing rabbits. And so I said to her, what's the difference? You should have spent all the money you spent in university education by developing your rabbit farming. Maybe by now you'd have gone so far. Otherwise, forget about rabbit farming and come to town. Hustle like any other person. But then as we went on talking, one of the things that we realized this girl needs is not just papers. Because most of us here think that papers will get you a job and papers will make you work. They will not. I receive a lot of applications, and we read a lot of applications, and the English leaves you wondering whether this is a university student or not. And especially if somebody has done a bachelor's in communication. I was thinking about bachelor's of communication recently. And for a moment I thought most of us who learn communication in school or in college, maybe 5% is practical, the rest is theory. And so we cannot communicate, we can't just write. And so when we thought about these things, reflected over them, talked to employers, looked at the mood of the country, we realized that there is a huge gap. There is a huge gap in education. And that gap is in technical education. Technical education. Skill development. There are too many graduates, no skill. No skill. When you get a job, you will hand your certificate, file it, and forget about it. The next thing we'll want to see is to see you work. And your employer will not rate you by whether you got an A or a B or a C. What the employer needs to see is whether you are able to work. And so the certificates you get today, you will hand them. You need to sharpen yourself. You need to develop skill. I'm told in the Bible there's a scripture that says if you see a skillful man, you'll find him in the palace. And so we changed our vision and said we are not going the university way. It makes no sense by us having a university here and produce degree in commerce. That degree, there is no difference with any Tom, Dick, and Harry who went to town, because the lecturers are the same, the culture is the same. And so we're encouraging a number of us, in fact most of us, there's a huge market for technical education. We need to develop more technical colleges than we develop universities. For this country to take off, it needs more technical people than it needs graduates.